Welcome to another video on the Targeted Individual Program. In this video, I would like to talk about job mobbing, as well as other harassment techniques that is being used to psychologically harass the individual who is targeted by the state government, corporation, or whoever deemed it necessary to target someone for whatever reason. So let's talk about job mobbing. When you are a target individual, what I believe to be the government, okay, when I say government, I mean whether it's the police, the FBI, CIA, whichever department within a government institution that is responsible or who cooperate and participate in targeting an individual. That is what I mean when I say the government. So if you're a target individual and you are employed, you will experience what is called job mobbing. The authorities have went to your employer and your coworkers and is spreading false rumors against you. Whether it be false or true, it doesn't matter. The fact is, what is being done is illegal and it's a crime. So you feel like your coworkers is targeting you because they are, and it's being done in a psychological manner that is directly towards you or directed towards you. So each targeted individual mobbing is a little different. We all suffer from the psychological harassment, but our targeting is specifically tuned to what is happening in our lives or what has happened in our lives. So your coworker will do certain things in front of you. They will act nasty towards you. They will try to set you up for failure on your job so that you can be fired, or they will try to stress you out so much that your performance at work will start to suffer. Your boss will attempt to belittle and degrade you and your work. Okay, I was employed for 10 years at a company, and for 10 years I was job mobbed by not all coworkers, but by most coworkers, and especially my manager. So that is just part of the harassment technique of harassment tactics that targeted individuals are put through, as well as what is called street theater. And street theater is something that happens outside of the home or the workplace, in which people on the street do what is called psychological theater towards the targeted individual, or skits. So, for instance, let's say they want to agitate you. What will happen is that, let's say you're walking down the street and you are constantly being bumped into by total strangers. Okay? And when they bump into you, they'll say sorry. So normally, if someone says sorry, you just said, okay, you pass it, you just kind of like not even think twice about it because they're saying sorry. But when it happens multiple times during the day, okay, it is done to frustrate the targeted individual because of the heightened state that you're in because of your harassment and your torture. So it is meant to get you to act out irrational in public. Okay? So they can say, oh, look, he's crazy or she's crazy, or they can, they may get you to a point where you may snap and hit somebody, okay, and they can have you arrested. That is the purpose of street theater, and is meant to agitate and harass the targeted individual to a point where they start acting irrational or even physical with someone else. So as a targeted individual, you have to be aware of that. You have to know about the psychological tactics that is being used on you. Okay? Now, let's also talk about what I call the misinformation and disinformation that you're given as a targeted individual. In another video, I talked about neurolinguistic programming. Okay? So what you have to do as a targeted individual is go and learn about neurolinguistic programming, learn about dark NLP, also learn about what is called classical conditioning. Okay? Classical conditioning is a psychological tactic. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I will in another video. Also, know this, okay, that your perpetrators, okay, they will psychologically manipulate your mind to believe that acting out irrational, okay, will yield a positive response or a positive outcome, okay, and acting positive will yield a negative response or a negative consequence. Okay, so be aware of that, because you see, they want to villainize you to the point where people will just look at you and say, okay, this person is crazy or that person is crazy if you're a targeted individual. Okay, and one of the ways in which they do that is something what is called reward and punishment. So if they're trying to control you and they're saying, well, okay, if you do what, and when I say they're saying not verbally but psychologically, all through what is called silent sound or V2K, they may say, okay, well, if you act out this way, you know, you'll get money. If you're a man and woman, you might meet a member of the opposite sex. You know, you might be, they may stop your targeting if you act out in an irrational manner. And what that does is to the individual is to condition that individual into thinking that by being negative and acting negative, okay, it's going to help them in some positive way, or they're going to get some kind of positive reward out of it. All right? So now, if you're a target individual and you act positive, when I say positive, I mean you're not irrational. You know, you're a very nice person. You know, you treat people with respect. You do things for people. They don't want you to do that. So anytime you are kind to someone, you do something positive for someone or for yourself, okay, they will attempt to make you believe that you will be punished extensively. You know, maybe killed or maybe thrown in jail, and at this point they will start to use the police to target you. Okay, so what that does to the mind is that it trains the mind into thinking that, or tricks the mind into thinking that, you know, hey, if I do something that's going to benefit me or someone else, or if I'm nice to someone else, then, you know, I might be killed, I might be arrested. You know, they'll continue to target me. And if I do something negative, then, hey, you know, they're telling me that I'm going to get money, or I might meet somebody of the opposite sex, you know, so that will end my isolation. You know, classic brainwashing techniques that is used on the targeted individual. So please be aware of these tactics. It is important that you understand the psychological campaign that is being waged against you, and I hope this video helped those who are targeted individuals.